match their captain's dream to become the pirate king. And while they're fun and even silly on the surface, they all have depth. As we learn about the tragedies they suffered in their childhoods that made them who they are today, we fall in love with this cast of characters. Also, you will definitely 100% cry when you get to some of their backstory, so just be ready for that. Of course, our main crew are only the beginning. The Straw Hats also encounter many others on their travels, and some standouts are the amazing villains. The Marines are tasked by the world government to hunt down the law-breaking pirates, which means that our main cast constantly are on the run from fearsome members like Captain Smoker or
I love Captain Smoker.
However, there are also, of course, opposing pirates, such as
the he's the one that saw Goldie Roger get executed.
Oh, okay.
And he was like crying and shit.
Or Admiral Akainu. However, there are also, of course, opposing pirates, such as the 7 Warlords of the Sea, which includes fierce and intimidating characters like the criminal mastermind Crocodile, or the greatest swordsman in the world, Dracula.
We saw this in the AMV.
When we're introduced to these characters, they appear as insurmountable obstacles. Some of them are literally impossible to even touch. And so, of course, it makes it all the more satisfying when Luffy and his crew use their resolve and their skills to overcome these villains and save the innocent people on the islands they encounter. And speaking of those innocent people, the Straw Hats have their fair share of allies on the seas of the Grand Line.
They also got giants,
bro. Royalty who rule the various islands they visit and liberate, such as Nefertari Vivi, the Princess of Alabasta.
I love Vivi, man.
But some are even fellow pirates, like
Princess
the
Vivi, baby.
Trafalgar Law. And then, of course, there are the legends who either in the past or present have shaped the One Piece world itself. People like Gold Roger, the pirate who on the execution stand started the great age of piracy by telling people across the world to go and search for his treasure.
Whoa, that's crazy actually. Because this is Buggy
the Clown.
Age of piracy.
This is Shanks younger.
That's the world's greatest swordsman.
Exactly. These are everybody. This Crocodile.
Across the world to go and
that's crazy. Everybody saw Goldie Roger die, and that was the start of the new era of pirates.
And search for his treasure, the One Piece. Throughout the adventure of One Piece, you'll meet a fascinating cast.
Oh, that's God, by the way.
Who's God?
Right here.
That's God.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he flying?
Bro, that's the weirdest animal you will ever see.
Pegasus.
It's an animal that bit of fruit that can change you into different type of things.
Of people. And if it sounds like a lot, well, no worries there. Oda takes his time in each location and with each character to let us get to know each of them as people and to fully develop them throughout the story. It's one of the many reasons that One Piece's length actually works in its favor. It's all killer, no filler. Which brings me to chapter 4, the plot. The plot of One Piece is another fantastic reason that you should read this series.
Yes, sir.
The amazing thing about One Piece isn't that it has over 1,000 chapters. It's that it has 1,000 chapters and it's still going strong. The arcs being published right now are some of the best One Piece have to offer. And there's one simple reason for this. The mangaka Eiichiro Oda planned his story from the very beginning. I know that this seems trivial, but you'll be amazed at how many authors don't actually know how their story will end when they begin publication. They just kind of start from the premise.
He knew though. Does he know the ending already?
But the thing is, right?
There's no way Ichigo knows the ending.
The thing is why I believe that. The thing is why I believe that, because when you actually watch One Piece, right? You'll watch it from episode 1 to episode 160, and you realize that everything he written at the episode 1 comes up to episode 170. But like everything connects somehow.
How do you fit that amount in your
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how he does it, but everything he writes, everything he creates fits in a certain lane.
There has to be somehow.
It's not like there's a road, right? And then the road splits. It's always the same
there's no
road.
fillers. I get that. But how does he not like go with the flow?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
1,000 episodes in your brain.
He just has it. He has it all up here.
The man's different, bro.
That's facts. That's why he's almost the best-selling author.
Make it up as they go along. 25 years ago, Luffy set out to find the ultimate treasure, the One Piece. He's still searching for that treasure. And many are skeptical that whatever it will be in the end will be disappointing. Like, the treasure will be the friends you made along the way. However, Oda-sensei has already gone on record saying that the treasure is something physical, or at least part of it. He has had the final panel and the overall
it's gonna end soon.
Planned for decades. And while he does insert fun details and ideas along along the way to expand on the world that he's created, the broad strokes of the story are already well thought out. I mean, it would have been one thing to have a great idea for a pirate adventure and just letting Luffy start his journey without having the end in mind, but eventually he probably would have run out of ideas. But ever since the beginning, Oda has been constructing a story with one singular goal, which honestly makes it such an impressive series, not just among manga, but among literature in general. One way that you can see this is with Eiichiro Oda's masterful hints and foreshadowing. Characters will be mentioned in the early beginnings of the story only to show up and play a very important role.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like everything connects at the end.
Look how different he looks though.
Later at points. And
everything
really
connects. I don't know
goes
how.
to show the thorough planning that went into creating this masterfully structured story. Not to take digs too hard at other series, but many of them seem to be developed based on a central interesting premise, but eventually really start falling apart the longer it gets because the storytellers didn't begin with the ending in mind. Let's just call it the J.J. Abrams effect. Let's just leave the world of anime for a second and think about how TV shows like Lost
usually go with the flow.
Star Wars sequel trilogy begin by Abrams setting up so many mysteries, so fans get sucked in by all the intrigue.
It got so
the problem
LGBTQ
is that
and everything.
Abrams has not figured out what the solution to the mystery really is, and seemingly also doesn't care, leading to his properties having terribly disappointing endings. Many anime series seem to suffer from the exact same problem. For instance, in Bleach, a series that I really hold dear, the Soul Society was a fantastic early arc. However, it does seem like Tite Kubo, the author, wasn't sure what should happen afterwards. So they just rinsed and repeated with a new kidnapped ally to rescue and a new assortment of powerful baddies to fight. Dragon Ball Z kind of does the same thing as well. And who of course can't forget the ending of Naruto when we found out that
isn't that same at all.
Warning, by the way, skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. It was aliens all along. Like, granted, One Piece also has some moon and space stuff going on, but that's always been well established for hundreds of chapters instead of suddenly pulling it out of nowhere at the very last minute. Most anime also deal with a problem I call power creep, the problem of running into an impossibly strong villain, having the heroes develop a new power-up to defeat them, and then rinsing and repeating over and over until the powers are just so absurd and don't fit into the established scope of the narrative anymore. And while One Piece does have cool powers and power-ups, it avoids the problem of power creep that we see in so many other series.
Yeah, because the thing with One Piece is, right, when there's a fight can span up to like 10 episodes. 10, 20 episodes. Where like you're struggling and then for one whole episode you won't even see Luffy because he got punched or some shit, and then the next episode he comes back, and then the fight doesn't just end with someone becoming super powerful.
It's like they just overcame
exactly
the problem of power creep that we see in so many other series. In an early scene, we're for example introduced to one of the literally strongest characters in the entire series.
Yes, sir.
Dracul Mihawk, the greatest swordsman in the world. One of
the
7 warlords of the sea I mentioned
him and Zoro,
in that
did one of them
encounter,
win?
Luffy's crewmate Zoro, whose goal is to become the world's greatest swordsman himself.
So he won Zoro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like okay. He didn't beat him yet. Oh, I thought because he said okay.
No, listen.
I thought this was like they fought and then they decided
even the most
who won.
recent episode, we still don't know who's the strongest.
Like he's still alive in the latest episode.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Like Zoro has still yet to become.
Come on, Zoro, bro. Beat this guy's ass up, bro.
Whose goal is to become the world's greatest swordsman himself, faces off.
But to be fair, as soon as he beats him,
effortlessly
then Zoro,
take out opponents left
Zoro's
and right
done
before
then.
this moment is
you know what I mean?
absolutely
I wouldn't say he's done.
Like if he becomes the greatest swordsman.
And so, thanks to this scene and some others like it, we early on get to see the power ceiling of the worlds. And that way, future power-ups don't just seem like massive ass
fire.
nowhere.
Did you see how he dodged those bullets?
That way,
Luffy, bro.
future power-ups don't just seem like massive ass pulls out of nowhere, and instead they seem in line with the properties of the world as we've known it right from the start. The consistency of One Piece is just outstanding. Even the quote-unquote bad arcs, or at least the least favorite ones among the fandoms, often surpass the qualities of many other normal stories. Are there occasionally flaws or inconsistencies? Sure. Eiichiro Oda is surprisingly still human after all, but the positives of the series, especially given its massive length, outshine the negatives by far. And this is really mainly thanks to Chapter 5, the overall tone. Another reason to watch One Piece is its tone. And this encapsulates a lot of things, as you might guess. When Owens, a producer of the upcoming Netflix live-action One Piece series, was talking about
I was on the set. It was in South Africa.
He said
They filmed it in South
does
Africa.
3 things. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, and it makes you say, holy shit. First and foremost, something that really makes One Piece stand out among its peers is its sense of humor. Sure, other shonen often have gags and bits of humor sprinkled in as well, but One Piece really has laughter baked into its core. I mean, just look at some of the character designs, but
you can
just
have
the characters.
the thing I love about One Piece is you can have one like part in one episode, right, be sad as fuck, and then the literal next part you start laughing, because they write it so perfectly where it's not like I was just like crying. How is this like? How could you just change the tone like that? It gradually changes, but it changes. You know? So it's like and then you get into that move. Let's laugh, you know.
Laughter.
I don't know how they do it.
Its core.
It's not like a sudden switch.
But just the characters itself and the jokes in this series are just hilarious. And the scenarios that they get themselves into can be just as funny. Luffy having rubber powers is essentially just a stretchy cartoon man. Sometimes to fight, he blows himself up into a massive balloon. Once, when fighting a character with food-based powers, he valiantly ate his way to victory with the ferocious appetite that only a shonen protagonist could have.
Look at that.
Hey, what the fuck, man?
Wacky and goofy art style, which is fair, it's subjective. But the truth is that this is one of its greatest strengths, really. Not just because it's usually very funny, but also because it makes the emotional and very serious moments hit just that much harder. Like the contrast between them. You'll just be sitting there, just enjoying your goofy pirate manga when suddenly you're openly sobbing. I don't care if you have a heart of stone. You will cry when you see.
Have you cried? You said you haven't cried yet.
I did almost cry, bro.
And when you see some of the ridiculous stakes,
that shit. Let me just tell you the premise, right? So you get a little deer. He ate a devil fruit by accident, and so he could change forms now, right?
Okay.
And then the humans started attacking him and shooting him and shit, and then he ran away.
So he can't fit in anywhere.
He can't fit in anywhere. And then there's one doctor. Later on, you find out that wasn't medicine; it was actually poison. The doctor died eventually, and it's just a whole sad thing. But you have to watch it on your own, obviously. Me explaining it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to hit you as hard.
But if you watch this, bro, you are going to be so fucking sad for this little animal right here. It's actually the worst feeling in the world.
I don't care if you have a heart of stone. You will cry when you see the suffering that this cute reindeer has endured, for instance. And when you see some of the ridiculous stakes that many of these arcs get to, you will be openly stunned. When an entire country of people and characters you've grown to love are incredibly at stake, and the only possibility of saving them means Luffy defeating a villain who has already utterly defeated him multiple times before that, how can you not be on the edge of your seat?
That's what I'm saying.
Even if you know deep down that things should probably work out.
I want to save the whole Alabasta arc, right? Where Luffy fought Crocodile.
Okay.
There was a whole 10 episodes where Luffy wasn't even in the anime. Where you thought he was dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he
now
got
I
stabbed,
remember you said that.
he got stabbed through the stomach. And then you don't see him for 10 episodes until they finally show him, but they show him alive, like barely alive, and then they cut back. And then there's another 5 episodes I'll see Luffy again, and then he finally comes in and saves
exactly
the day.
how they're doing it.
And I'm like,
on the
fuck
edge
yes.
of your seat. And even if you know deep down that things should probably work out fine because there are still hundreds
exactly
of
how
chapters
I
to go,
feel.
it still won't stop you from jumping out of joy
This fight,
when
by the
Luffy
way, oh
finally
fuck, I love it
beats
so
the
much.
big baddie. Lots and lots and lots of reasons that you need to check out One Piece. From the world building to the characters to the story, this is a must-read experience of media. Experiencing the story live along with a dedicated fan community isn't something that you want to miss out on. And once you get caught up, you can always come back to this channel here to enjoy some of the theories and character analysis that I've been working on. Or if you don't care about being spoiled and you want to start right now, how about watching the best One Piece theory?
Don't want to be spoiled.
No.
That's cool though. I like
the video.
The video was
I like the video. Check out his channel. Ohara. He has 800k subs.
He did a very good job in explaining.
Yes, but that is starting One Piece still worth in 2023? Sum up, yes.
100%. I think it's always been worth it.
But the thing is, right, now is the perfect time to jump into One Piece because it's almost at its end, right? And if you start now, you'll probably catch up so much that
And
you
then you
reach the end right before it's the end, you know.
Exactly.
So you can react to episodes or watch episodes as soon as they come out, which that's where I want to be at. But that's gonna still gonna be a while for that to happen. But that was starting One Piece Still Worth in 2023. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you did enjoy this as much as I did. I'm not gonna keep this intro any longer. The video's already long enough. Love every single one of you guys. Rightfully Tiers signing off.
Peace and love.